cooking cops, teacher turnout, and amazing artifacts. All this and more as the Stafford Weekly News starts now. Welcome to the Friday, August 8th edition of the Stafford Weekly News. I'm Randall Williams. A Stafford police officer was injured in a traffic accident, so a barbecue fundraiser was held for it. We were there, and we would like to verify that the food was good. It's the first day in August, and people are starting to gather at the Ramallah Community Center. The reason why is a barbecue fundraiser for an injured police officer.
Hi, we're having a benefit for one of our officers that was involved in a motorcycle accident, Officer Taron Numa. At this point, we're selling barbecue sandwiches, and all the benefits will go directly to him. He will be here later on today around noon, so if anybody wants to come out and actually put a face with a name, we encourage you to come out. We're at the Ramallah Club of Houston, but we're actually at 3310 Murphy Road in Missouri City. He's actually doing better. I know that everything on his left side was broken, every bone. Again, he's doing better. He's walking. He's learning how to walk again, but he's in good spirits. I think the good spirits is more than anything. So again, like I said, he'll be here around noon. So if you guys want to come out and meet him or just come out and support him, feel free. And we also have his motorcycle club here because he's a part of one of the motorcycle clubs. So you can come out and meet those guys as well. Again, just thank you guys for the support. I also want to thank the city of Missouri City for allowing us to do a benefit for a Stafford officer. And again, thank you to the mayor, and we'll see everybody out, hopefully.
For Stafford Weekly News, this is Randall Williams. New school year, next. Convocation is an annual event where SMSD welcomes back and inspires faculty and staff. Mauricio Morales brings us the report.
In Stafford, the countdown to the new school year began with tradition, inspiration, and a clear vision for the future. The best little school district in Texas welcomed back teachers, staff, and administrators with its annual convocation event, a high-energy kickoff designed to motivate and unify the entire Spartan family. The convocation also served as a welcome for new staff members and a reminder that everyone, from classroom teachers to custodians, bus drivers to IT specialists, plays a vital role in student success. As the Stafford Spartan team heads into a new year, the energy is high, the goals are clear, and the commitment stronger than ever.
One team, one mission. All right, we will always be that because that is...
Superintendent Dr. Robert Bostic had a few words to say for the Spartan family.
Hello and welcome to Convocation 2025. I'm Dr. Bostic, your superintendent from the Stafford Municipal School District. Today is Convocation. This is our kickoff, our annual kickoff that we do at the beginning of the year every year. It's where we get pumped up and excited about what's going to happen in the new school year in Stafford MSD. We have all of our staff members from custodians, maintenance, transportation, child nutrition, to the classroom, to administrators, to the superintendent's office, to trustees, school board trustees, and to city council members here, all cheering on Stafford MSD staff who are getting started, and they're starting our school year off. The energy in the room of about 500 people is all about excitement, all about getting excited for this school year. So when we're welcoming your kids into the classroom every day, we want them to have an excited face. We've got a couple of themes this year that we want you to be aware of. One, which is we are a family-friendly school district. Family-friendly schools because we're excited that you're here and that you chose SMSD. We know you have a choice on where you send your kids, and we're glad that you picked SMSD. The second thing that we want you to know is that we're all about this year's theme of inspiring potential. Inspiring potential in every person, not just the staff, not just the students, but even those people in the community. Inspiring you to greater heights, inspiring you to do everything that you need to do to make the best you that you can be.
Yo enseño más que palabras. Es cultura, es conexión, es corazón. Each verb a bridge, each accent a new spark of God.
Let's hear it for the Stafford High School. And they show up in unity and their responsibility for their group of
Please believe me when I say, count on me.
We're all Americans and we're all SMSD in this group, and we want everyone to win. That's what this year's convocation is all about. It's all about that, and it's all about this energy. Thanks a bunch, and welcome to Convocation 2025.
SMSD's Board of Trustees begins the year with a new president at its helm. We sat down with Ash Hamirani for a little getting to know you.
As Stafford Municipal School District begins a new school year, fresh leadership is stepping forward. Ash Hamirani takes on the role of school board president, bringing with him a new vision for students, families, and educators across the district. We sat down with Mr. Hamirani to learn more about his goals, the challenges ahead, and what inspired him to step into this important role. Here's what he had to say.
I was first elected at the young age of 28 years old, the youngest ever in all of Stafford history, to be on the school board. And from that day, it's been a personal mission of mine. And I didn't have kids at the time when I first got elected, but I always knew I was going to eventually send my kids here. And to me, it was very important to be part of this public school education system. So I fundamentally believe in order for us to keep the American dream alive here in the United States, we need to ensure that people have access to safe, stable housing, quality education, and healthcare. And to be able to tackle professionally, what I do is I work in attainable housing, and we build attainable housing all around the state. To be able to address education is one of the toughest things, and it's required. I'm a product of a public education system, and I credit that for my success today. I went, after I graduated from high school, I went to University of Texas, and then I got my master's at Texas A&M. Both are great public institutions. And to me, it's important when I ran was to make sure that we keep that dream alive and we give access to students in our next generation. Because ultimately, we think about, it's not just about our kids, all our kids, the entire community. We have a village, and these are the same kids that are going to be building the next great technology, whether it's the next cars or AI, and whatever they're doing, they're going to be the ones running the world. And hopefully the world that I live in when I'm 60, 70 years old is a better place, and hopefully I get to play a small part in that. So to me, that's important as we prepare for that and we think about that. And that's what's inspired me to run and spend countless hours here. And again, like I've said, is We get paid a massive salary of $0.00 to do it, but it is the most rewarding job that I have ever had, bar none. And so I love everything about it. I love doing it every day. I love the people that I get to interact with, and the wonderful staff, the wonderful teachers, the wonderful folks, the students, and everyone that I get to interact with. It's just energizing, and it's the best thing I've ever done. And at the end of the day, hopefully I'm making a difference, and hopefully we are, as Stafford continues to become better and better, and our school district continues to prepare our students for the future. Number one, we've got to take care of those who take care of us. That's vital, right? To take care of our kids. They're the ones that we trust every single day to spend hours and hours training our kids, preparing them for the future. Our kids spend more time with their teachers and our staff and the folks here at SMSD than they do even at their own home many times. And so we need to make sure we take care of those people. So number one, and this year, as you've all heard, has been a historic year, is we've increased compensation across the board more so than we've ever done as my time on the board, and possibly more than we've ever done in the history of Stafford. So that was step one for us to take care of them. Number two is we also got to make sure that as we give folks increases, we're also giving them the proper incentives. So teachers and staff members and everyone across the board who's doing a phenomenal job, who's going above and beyond the call and is doing more than they need to, is getting compensated for that. Because I know for a fact, not a single member that works at Stafford MSD is doing it for the money. The board members certainly aren't, we don't get paid, but I know every single one of our teachers, staff members are also doing it because they care about our kids. So that's really important. As step one is to ensure that we're taking care of those who take care of our kids. Number two is to empower them. One of the things that happens over time is the state tends to tighten up our hands as much as they can as trustees and as a school district. But ever so often they cut one of those ropes loose, and it gives us a little more autonomy to go do things as a board and as a school district. This year was one of those years in the legislative year where we actually got a little more autonomy when it came to behavior and other factors that impact classroom day to day. We want to make sure that we send that autonomy down to our teachers. We really want to empower our teachers and give them the ability, because what they do best is what they do in the classroom. Is they are just phenomenal teachers. They don't want to deal with the bureaucracy. They don't want to fill out all the paperwork and all the things and teach by a very strict, rigid curriculum that exists today, unfortunately. And it's not just Stafford, it exists all throughout the state. And the next step is, we want to make sure we always focus, and this has been something that I have stressed, and I think as a board we've stressed, is we want to focus on the fundamentals. Is why are we here? We're here to make our students smart and challenge them academically and prepare them for a life after SMSD. And we want to make sure we bring that focus back on the academics. And we want to continue to have all these phenomenal programs. I think we've got, bar none, some of the best programming for extracurricular out there, better than anyone our size. We want to continue those, but we also want to make sure we don't forget the main mission, and that is to ensure that our students are getting challenged academically so that they may succeed, whatever that next step for them may be, whether it's college, whether it's a career, or whether it's joining the military. We want to make sure they are ready for that challenge. So there's, one of the challenges in any education body is always a million problems that we need to solve, and they're never ending, it seems like. One of the things that we're being very active in, and I've always made the joke, we always say thank you on behalf of current students, thank you on behalf of former students. I bring a very different perspective. I've got two young children, Stafford class of 2039 and 2043, which means I've got a newborn. And so we really want to start thinking about Stafford, not in terms of 1 year or 2 years, but really start thinking about what is that going to look like for the next 10 years, the next 20 years, and how are we preparing our school district, our teachers, our staff, and unfortunately, our aging infrastructure. We've, for the most part, there's been a few new buildings that were passed with the last bond that happened in 2017. We haven't really taken care of our existing buildings that existed prior to that. One of the biggest challenges we face today is just an aging infrastructure that exists here in Stafford. And we need to address that, and we've looked at different ways. The way we're funded, and it's unfortunate, is we spend over $5 million of our money, our local money, that goes to the state. So not only does the state not pay us money, they actually take money through recapture out of our local tax revenue because we are deemed to be property rich. So what that creates is it creates a hole for us. It makes it hard because we're so focused on ensuring that the money stays as close to students as possible. We sometimes don't think about our infrastructure or don't have much left over for infrastructure. And so we're looking at different avenues to find that long-term funding, whether it's through bond or whatever it may be. We're looking at those to address some of these aging infrastructures and our buses and our roofs and our air conditioning, the things that aren't really exciting to talk about but are needed for our day-to-day. And that really is our biggest challenge today is doing that. You know, when I first ran my campaign back in 2019, it was, I said a quote, which was, 40% of the new jobs that will exist don't even exist today, and we don't even know what they're going to be called. And I think we're starting to see that to be true more so than ever, as we're preparing for careers that don't exist, and that's going to be important, is how do we do that? And how do we continue to be the pioneers in technology, as we have been? We were the first ones to have a drone launch pad on our campus. We're the first ones in our county to have an esports program and to have students get scholarships for esports. So how do we continue to be those pioneers? And that's going to be our goal.
For Stafford Weekly News, I'm Mauricio Morales, bringing your community stories to life 1 week at a time.
The school year is fast approaching. If you're unsure what your young student will need, this is for you.
The school year for Stafford Municipal School District is right around the corner, as classes begin on Wednesday, August 13th. To prepare for what your child will need this upcoming school year, visit the SMSD website, which has a link to up-to-date information on uniform policy, school supplies lists, and more. Students attending Stafford Pre-K and Kindergarten are required to wear solid color polos with collars and khaki shorts or pants. The shirts must be tucked in. Girls are allowed to wear navy or khaki colored skirts or jumpers, but shorts should be worn underneath. Spirit shirts available for purchase at the SECC PTO can be worn on Fridays with uniform bottoms. These same guidelines apply to the elementary school. First and second graders will need dry erase markers, pink beveled erasers, and composition notebooks, while third through fifth graders will need earbuds, hand sanitizer, and yellow highlighters, among other school supplies. Scan the QR code for more information. Stafford Middle School follows the same guidelines for pants, shorts, and skirts as the elementary school. For tops, 6th graders must wear red polos, 7th graders must wear blue polos, and 8th graders must wear gray polos. Middle schoolers will need to provide an iPad charger, colored markers, lined note cards, and pins, among other school supplies. Stafford High School students are required to wear clothing that is neat, clean in appearance, and socially appropriate. Pants with rips, skin-tight or baggy clothing, hats, caps, bandanas, and other head coverings are not allowed. High school students' school supplies vary from class to class, and teachers will provide a class supply list. The Stafford STEM Magnet Academy's uniforms and dress code expresses a readiness for learning, free of distraction. The way a student dresses reflects their high academic expectations for learning and discipline. Parents are responsible for seeing that students comply with the dress code of Stafford STEM Magnet Academy. For the most accurate and up-to-date information, scan the QR code or visit staffordmsd.org. We wish you all a happy and successful school year.
HCC in space. Next. HCC manages to get some pretty cool things from NASA as part of a surplus program, and their latest acquisition has some historical importance. HCC Stafford's Workforce Solutions building is where a lot of cool stuff winds up. So it's really no surprise that it now possesses some amazing NASA history.
Hi, I'm Roland Fields. I'm with Houston Community College. I run a fabrication lab down here at Stafford. And last week we picked up some NASA surplus that we had requested, and we were lucky enough to be granted. So we have behind us an external tank and 2 SRBs. These are for the hypersonic, I guess. I'm not sure I've got that right. Wind tunnel tests. And you can find these online. You can actually see the earlier models. These are really expensive. Back in the day, this was a $250,000 project. Unfortunately, we didn't get the shuttle Model 2, but these are really cool. The skin on these things are about 1/2 inch thick in aluminum. Plus, there's all sorts of little tidbits that came with it, and little things like this. So what's cool about this is, this is a blueprint that's been etched into aluminum. So it's been photo exposed, and you actually get all the information here of what the project was. So these were made by Rockwell International Space Division out of California, and this is, this one was for the fuselage. So to check their building, because remember, this is before digital. So to check what they were building, they would probably have blueprints, and they would make the scale model as close as they could, and then they would actually put these against the side of the shuttle fuselage and check their fit over and over again. And you can see, it's kind of like an accordion. They would come out, and there'd be dozens and dozens of these. So we're really, of all these things, these are probably some of the coolest things we got, because these are normally just thrown away and you never see them again. But really cool model pieces. So we got the 2 SRBs, we got the ET fuel tank. We also have some other miscellaneous pieces. We have a tail model and a couple wing models for different scales than these, so they weren't part of this. And then one of these days, I'll keep watching, and hopefully we'll get the actual shuttle model put with these. So I'm building a base out back using our shop tools and a really solid base, because this is about, when it's all put together, about 800 pounds worth of metal and steel. Because the stand is steel and these are aluminum. So this is gonna be really cool. It's gonna be nice. It's here at the lab at Stafford, so at the workforce building. You're welcome to come see it. We're here Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 6, and you can come see our lab. We're here 10 to 4 on Saturdays, assuming the school's open. If it's a holiday, we're not here, don't drive up. The building's not open, we're not here, obviously. But we have some other things. We have a flag that came from Skylab. We've got some other little pieces and parts. And we'll put this thing on display in probably about a month or so, but even in the meantime, it'll be here in the lab. You can come see it. We'd be happy to have you visit our lab, our machine shops, our air conditioning and welding, and our robotics. We've got some really cool stuff, a lot of workforce stuff, and it's a great building. So please come visit us. My name is Roland Fields, Houston Community College.
For HCC Beat, this is Randall Williams. That's a wrap on our news for this week. Thank you for joining us. For everyone here at Stafford Weekly News, I'm Randall Williams. May all your news be good news. This program was produced on the Stafford campus of Houston Community College.